Welcome to the Boxing Source Midweek Report, where we tackle the latest topics in the sport of boxing here up to this point every single Wednesday. Time to start the show. Yo, what's up, everybody? What's good? What's happening? Yeah, that's right. We are here for the Midweek Report here for July 2nd, 2025. And, we got a number of things here that we're going to be talking about in this Midweek Report. But, we couldn't necessarily have this Midweek Report unless I had my special guests come on here. Of course, they've been on here on this particular show here for a few times. Of course, they have, just started out their professional career here, just coming from, all the celebrity boxing and things like that. Had a couple of fights here, had a couple of fights, pro fights, but has also been involved in Team Combat League there. But now, of course, at 2-0 here, of course, with both of those wins by way of knockout, of course, hailing from New York, New York. That is right. It is Brooklyn Barwick. What's going on?
What the frick is good, everyone? How are you?
All good, all good. Thankful for you to join us here for the Midweek Report. Of course, we had to catch up from, your last performance there in May over in Mexico, as you had another first round knockout victory there. So you went in there, took care of business, didn't, get paid for overtime or anything like that, as the saying goes, and got the stoppage, you know what I mean? So that was good there on your part. So how was that particular experience, going back to Mexico and getting that win?
Okay, so big ups, JR Promotions. You already know, freaking love you guys. It was a surreal feeling, to be honest, because this girl was tough. This one was tough. So it was 49 seconds this time, but it felt like 5 years in my brain because I got sent to the corner, the neutral corner, after she got her first standing 8 count. And I'm like, oh my God, where the frick is the neutral corner? I was like spazzing out for a second. I was like, I've never been sent here in my life. All right, cool. So yeah, it was a surreal feeling, and I'm very blessed. And yeah, I was on Team Combat League, and I actually made a joke while I was on this trip. I was like, yeah, so I was talking about you. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be surprised if I get clipped on Reddit, because I literally said on an interview that this concept is just like not for me. And I did it. I did it, and like it taught me a lot. I didn't win the round, but like I see where I could have picked up the pace faster, where I could have done more. Um Obviously the girl tried to freaking pull down her pants in the mid one, and I'm like coming at her. I'm like, what? I was about to charge into her and be like, bah, 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 but like I was like, come here, still like take the round, like take it seriously, because she just kept hugging me. Like anytime I would actually get hits in, she would hurt from it. So I don't know. I hear she's on Pro Box and she wanted to fight me. Hailing from the Netherlands, I forget her name, but she has red hair. Miami Assassins. Freaking crazy, crazy experience. But I did that actually a week after the JR Promotions bout, because I got called like 72 hours. Coach Sunny was like, hey, I need a 126 girl. And I was like, okay. I got my medicals and I did it. Coach Sunny did the absolute most for me, so shout out to Coach Sunny for that one. It was the Phoenix Fury. It was just wow. It was a moving weekend, and now we're in the playoffs, and I love all my Phoenix Fury fam. Um, Literally, I think that was the best team I could have been paired up with, because I was gonna do Las Vegas Hustle, who is going undefeated now, but A, they were a day late. B, they wouldn't have done what Sonny did for me. So shout out to Coach Sonny, honestly. So yeah. Yeah. It was good though. It was good. I was like, dude, I literally said, no, never in my life will I do Team Combat League. I was like, I did it. And I'm gonna try out for like New York, Boston, like Philly, somewhere like closer around here, because it would be cool to do Phoenix Fury again, because I absolutely love my team. But it's just I don't know, like I don't know which bracket I want to be in. I don't know that be for girls. Honestly, Team Combat League needs girls.
Mm.
So it's a very limited competition over there, for females, because it's like basically in the amateurs you have to like keep fighting the same people. It's that same concept. Like the same girls get paired up the same,
Yeah.
rather than the boys switch out, because you can find a 135 boy anywhere, but you cannot find a 135 girl anywhere. Like, we're a rare breed. But yeah, big up to the women in Team Combat League. My friend Jada Lee is on there as well. Um, Me and her really want to go up against each other at Brand Risk, which is the Aiden Ross promotion. And I've been
Mm.
speaking to them on the back channels, basically telling them, like, yo, because every single person, Country Boot Gang, freaking Heather Aces, who is an influencer promoter, and like all these people, Tatakai, and like everyone were like, Brooklyn, they're looking for a 126. Brooklyn, oh my God, that's your weight class. Brooklyn, they're looking for a 122 now. Like, Brooklyn, that's your weight class. And I'm like,
Mm.
okay, because I only go up to 126. Like, that is the fattest I'll go. The fattest I will go. Granted, I am not 126 at this current moment,
Yeah.
but to compete in for a 4'11" girl like me, bruh, I cannot. I cannot. Well, I could, because, like, realistically, my body does shift. It's just I don't want to. I don't want to go 140. Like, those girls are actually tall. I want somebody in, like, the lighter weight classes, because also that's where I
So
feel
like
very, like,
so like
bouncy, very
118 or
speedy.
something like that. Like I
Yeah,
mean, right now you'd
118
be around
is like the
122,
famous
but
big deal picture. You know, the one where I'm like this?
yeah.
Yeah, that is Brooklyn at 117 pounds.
Hmm.
So it's
So yeah.
possible.
Yep.
So
I mean, you there. You had that competition there with Phoenix there, the Team Combat League. Of course, they
big
have
up
the
Phoenix.
12
Love
teams.
them. I'm gonna be trying out
They
for
have the
them
12
too.
teams out there, and they're starting to. They're about to start the thing there with the playoffs here coming real soon too. So
I
you have
hope,
that whole
oh my
thing where
God,
you're
Sunny,
getting
if you
involved with
are
that.
watching this, I hope to be your 126 girl. I know I'm fighting my third professional bout on August 16th. I almost said 13th. That's when I'm flying out. It's
Mm.
August 16th, and I told Coach Sunny, because he was like, we all had a team meeting. He was like, hey, just let me know. Playoffs is coming up. Everyone, if you have pro bouts coming up, just let me know. I let him know, but I believe Team Combat League would end in August. So I would be
Well, and
allowed to do it because it's before my professional bout. So.
Well, they have for now scheduled semifinals around that same week. So it just depends on how it falls from first to quarterfinals. That's supposed to
Oh
be
shit!
starting
It does.
July
I haven't
18th.
even looked at the
So yeah,
schedule. So
yeah,
wait, yeah. When is like semifinals and all that?
yeah. So the quarterfinals start on July 18th, but it's like from the 18th through July 27th, and then the semifinals they have the one on they say August 8th, and then the second one's going to be August 15th. So it just depends on the schedule there for the
So
team
Sonny, if you're
first in the
watching
quarterfinals.
this, put me in semifinals. I got you. I'll go lighter if I gotta. He knows. Like, I even told them, because they were looking for 140 girls. I was like, bro, if I gotta go 140, I mean, I guess. Like, I got
Mm,
you. Like,
yeah. So I mean, you got all of that stuff there where you could be able to compete not just within the Team Combat League, but if you have that thing scheduled for August 16th, you'll be right in there. So you'll be very busy over the next 6 weeks or plus or so. Like, and that's the
I
thing
know
about it,
it
is being
looked, it's
as
like
active as
6.5
possible.
weeks.
Yeah.
I started my weight cut like this week, and I'm like, dang. I'm like, my whole back is like all spotted up too, because I've gotten like recovery from like Skip 2 Health PT, like my main man that I always freaking go to. And yeah, like, I'm actually back. Okay, so I have a new team now. Oh my God, here is the
Mm.
mother freaking tea. So I'm doing camp in New York this time. I've done it at Bones because Bones
Mm-hmm.
is like an amazing mentor, and I've done it at Top Rank in the past.
Yep.
But also, I really like being home in New York. I know that that's like, what the fuck? Like, why do you like being home? I'm not like a homebody. Like, I like always ping pong everywhere. But at the same time, it's like, I like being home. I like being in New York. Of course, like, I wouldn't have upped and moved my life from California to here if I didn't genuinely like New York. So, I
Mm-hmm.
actually got the best team like in New York, and I'm finally was like, "Oh my god, it's like a weight's been lifted off of my shoulders." So, I'm on like the Sosa crew, and I'm getting coached by Jimmy Sosa, who
Okay.
was Mio Yoshoda's coach.
Mm-hmm.
Um and then Sosa crew also looks over Nikita, Bobby, and like a bunch of different people out of like New York City, Cops and Kids, Nisa Rodriguez. They had Shushu, they had Richardson Hitchens, like everybody was there. And shout out
Yeah.
to Hitchens. Bro, I was so tired and I was like, literally, oh my god, Matchroom posted me. Like, well, they posted the gym, but I'm like right
Mm-hmm.
smack in the middle of this vintage ass, like, Instagram post, cute photo, but Misa's like doing, I call her Superwoman because she's also a cop, and like she's doing like the absolute most at this event. And then there's
Mm-hmm.
me in the back like tired, like, hey, because like I was training earlier that day, and like, I have a life and like adult things I did. I stacked my day and I stayed out in Brooklyn to wait for Hitchinson. And yeah, I met him. Cool dude. Cool dude. Very cool dude. And I also got a picture with him. I got two
Mm-hmm.
pics. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he, represents there for, either Manhattan or Brooklyn or, because he
No, he
currently
no, he
resides in
represents Flatbush. There's like
Flatbush.
that's his stomping grounds. That's where he
Mm-hmm.
grew up. There's also a mural on one of the project buildings over there. Um I need to like look more into him. But like everybody, like Price, Taylor, and I, we were just sitting there. Everybody knew everybody. It's a whole different like world at Cops and Kids because it's also city funded, and the reason why it's called New York City Cops and Kids is they have a kids program and a stellar amateur program. So like they're doing the absolute most for the community, and I think it's like a really good transition to do camp here because yeah, like I could go like back to Top Rank, and I still actually do have contact with everybody there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like there's no beef. Like love Top Rank, but with Jimmy as my coach, like the past month, we just started like working on the fight stuff, and, like just started sparring again, just started like getting back into like the excessive 2 to 3 days or 2 to 3 times a day like training schedule. But with Jimmy as my coach, it's actually very cool because also like I call him Chief Sosa, who is like head Sosa of everybody. His brother like is the one that has people as well. And Jimmy, I feel like is because he had Mio and he also has Nisa. He's very much like on like the female wave. Like he has male
Mm-hmm.
fighters, but like his most iconic fighters are Rodriguez and Yashoda. So I feel very comfortable with him, and like it's not like excessive like screaming and everything because there's been coaches that just completely power trips. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
who's like been in the sports world knows like when you have a coach that like feels like they have all this power over you, and like just a bunch of anger and just don't know how to communicate. It's tough. Like I have a drill sergeant, but this drill sergeant was just communicates to me and I do. Like the dynamic so far is amazing, and I'm blessed to have Nisa as kind of like a mentor. Like she's my friend. I've
Mm-hmm.
always been like cool with her because we're both pros and she's 3 and 1, and like I did the influencer stuff and just started this pro like journey and everything. So we've
Yeah.
been in like the same rooms and everything, and like we've been friends, but she is really inspiring. Like, so I think that's like the only difference now is I found all of the missing puzzle pieces to the big deal enterprise that I want, because now I'm doing it with people that actually have no bullshit, like they'll do business, because the Sosa crew and New York City cops and kids is very connected, and there's no doubt about it. Like obviously we see like
Mhm.
matchroom deals with
Yeah.
them, and like them hopping around with like the most iconic world champions ever. And my thing is that when you have everything in your hands, like the whole world in your hands, you don't need to flex. And people who don't feel like they gotta manipulate, like flex, and like do all of this like stuff, because a like obviously like being a coach is a job.
Mhm.
Like you need money.
Yep.
But B, like they wanna, I guess I always have said there's a difference between a trainer and a coach. Like Jimmy 1,000% is a coach because he has like just the way he actually like coaches different fighters I've seen, and like myself actually works. But then there's these patty cake like Manhattan trainers that are like, oh, you did so good, you did so good with that 1-2 left hook, and like we'll just basically bullshit you for a paycheck. There's coaches like that, and it's actually fucking sad. I
Mm.
feel like I've ran through a few of those, and it's very upsetting because there's actual genuine people within like a diamonds and like freaking a whole pebble area of rocks. There's actual diamonds in this city. There's actual diamonds in this sport,
Well,
because
yeah, I mean, with it
there's
being
people
New
that
York,
actually
there's going
like
to
to
be a
coach
lot of
and
them. Yeah, I mean, there's going to
yeah.
be a lot of those trainers out there. But like you said, there's only
Even
few
Bomac,
coaches.
I've met Bomac at Top Rank. He is like a genuine person that loves the sport. Like when you're a genuine like coach,
Hmm.
you don't need to like flex and shit. Like you don't need to like be like, oh well, I want to have like a full roster of like 40 fighters. Like no, like however many is fine, but like it's because they pick and choose. Well, no, I'm not talking about Sosa crew. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I'm talking about these like genuine like coaches. Like you have to have like a connection, purpose, and like an actual drive to do this, because if not, it's just like if you're just doing this for money, it's just kind of ass at that point, because it's like working at McDonald's when you know that you're supposed to be on a runway. Like, I know we see it with actors, influencers, everything. It's like
Hmm.
you don't want to be stuck in an industry that you don't want to be in. And like that's why I took the leap of faith to be in this, because I want to be in it. If it's like a pay cut, cool, I don't care. It's I want to do it. I want to be it. And
You
that's
want
what I
to you
feel
want to
like.
be able to enjoy what you do. That's the thing about it.
Exactly.
You know?
And know who taught me that actually? That was Bones. He was like, yeah, like, like I do this, for a paycheck, but he was like, I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't love it. And obviously, Bones Adams, he has belts upon belts upon belts. Like,
Hmm.
that
Yep.
man is a homie of mine. Like, there's
Yeah.
genuine people. I feel like I actually did fine. I know that's a whole rant, a whole babble. I'm sorry for
Mm.
that yap, but the main purpose is I feel like I found like a really good ecosystem and a really good coach, because Jimmy's doing well, and I still do work with Dave up in Connecticut. That a thousand
Mhm.
percent. Dave is coming with me to my next fight. Like
Okay.
Team Brooklyn is still Team Brooklyn. I still have like the remote people in London, in LA, here in New York, and like Vegas people I call my freaking publicists, and like down south and stuff. I still have those people, but I need to be in New York in order to have a routine, not be so sporadic and stay focused. It's gonna be depressing, yeah, but I need to stop being a little fucking bitch, and I need to put my big girl pants on and fucking do it. I'm
Well, that's the
25.
thing. That's the thing. I mean, you've already had two fights this year already, and you might, be scheduled for another one here in another 6 weeks or so. So you're being very active there in the pro ranks, and then also, as we
I'm
mentioned
ranked number
before, with the
15.
Team
That's about it.
Combat League too. So that's the thing about it is just being able to stay consistent, and as long as you
Mhm.
know that you're grounded at one spot, that you could say, hey, okay, I'm here. I'm here for the long haul. I don't have to, bounce around the different spots or the different locations. I could be here at this one location and just focus on my craft. And that way
And
you'll
exactly,
be
they have
sharp.
like so many different locations in New York as well. They're such good, like, if you are ever in New York and need a gym to train at, like, they don't charge memberships. It's literally funded by the city, and you actually get world champion trainers and like actual national champion, like amateurs. Like, they have a whole like roster of amateurs that have been to the Olympics and shit. Like, of
Mm-hmm.
course you would want to be in that ecosystem, and it's with people that actually genuinely care, and it's no hate towards anywhere else, because I know there's
Mm-hmm.
other gyms in like the Bronx, Manhattan, Queens, and Staten Island and all that stuff that are very good gyms, but it's just a preference point, and I think that my preference, I said it in another interview, I'm like, I found my home here, I'm good. I'm literally moving out of the pink apartment. I've been here for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's like I'm putting things in trash bags and boxes and like getting everything loaded up, because I'm gonna be picking up my life and I'm gonna be moving to Brooklyn. I'm gonna have my Brooklyn in Brooklyn moment. I'm gonna be 3-0, hopefully above 15 at that point. I'm like one away from like a star on Box Rec. And I was fighter of the week. Like, I'm gonna be like doing a lot, and ever since, like, remember, I've been very vocal about this. I got jumped. People have been knowing my name, and
Mm-hmm.
people in New York are like, I don't want to say this, but like, they don't want to see you win. It's a dog eat dog world here. Whether you're in fucking the hood or you're on Wall Street, like, everybody is out for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they will step on you to get to the top type thing. You need to
Gotcha.
find your genuine people. And because I got jumped and because I've been cyberbullied and like put into this box where people don't want to see me succeed, I got to really, really speed run, really freaking like do my shit. I've already been offered titles. I've already been offered stateside debuts, but I want to do this on my terms. I want to
Mm-hmm.
do this to benefit me, myself, and I. And I know that sounds selfish, but my team, my people, myself, and my family, we deserve it, because we keep getting all of this fucking hate, disrespect, and like everything that's like, oh, that girl's an influencer. No, she's not a boxer. Yes, the fuck, I'm a boxer. I don't care how many years it's going to take. I'm going to build that respect. And I'm like having this thing where it's like I'm 1% better every day. I'm
Yeah.
living by that. I am
Yeah.
living by that, because whether it's increasing my mile time, whether it's increasing my hand speed, freaking perfecting my footwork, or doing jump rope, moving my fucking head, like, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna prove you all wrong, all of you haters wrong, and I'm going to literally like make the biggest noise out here. And I think
Mm-hmm.
especially because BoxRec did showcase me, it's like not even KSI or Jake Paul has had that. It's going to be within this next year. I'm really hoping for this big movement to show that I am a serious contender.
Mm. Now you got a secret dance move here saying Brooklyn here is one of the few female boxers I like. She actually has KO power. And question here from Jaime Alvarado: ever thought about training in Mexico? Of course, you had to
I
fight in
actually did
Mexico,
for
but training.
my influencer debut. I was at Alto Boxing Club, which is in Tijuana. Big ups to them. I met La Rocca, which is Alejandro Guzman, the one that knocked out Rama Ali, and got robbed on her freaking rematch. She should still be having that belt, respectfully.
Mhm.
I met her right in that camp. I think that doing a Mexico training camp at one point would be beneficial. I if you do watch my content, you guys know my stepmom is from Sinaloa, and my dad and her live in Rosarito with like my whole step family over there. So it could be a possibility, but for now, I'm gonna stay at New York City Cops and Kids. Um, Maybe even a London like training camp would be possible because I do have some connects to West London Boxing Club and Fisher's Amateur Boxing Club out there, but New York for now. I need to be here.
Gotcha. And you mentioned the thing there is reference to like Alfretados, and Alberto caught that little.
Yes. I'm not gonna say the promotion or
Mhm.
anything, um, or even the organization, but it is within the four belt era. I've been offered a regional title, and we're just gonna keep it at that. I'm growing at my own pace, everybody.
Mhm.
Okay? We cannot just throw me in with the Sharks. I mean, we could. Like, I can sit there and brawl and I will win. But, like, also, like, I need a few more. I need a few more. And I'm not fighting bums. It's not like I'm doing freaking Jake Paul, like, fucking activities. Ah! I'm so
Mhm.
mean. I love him, but he's so smart. It's like, the only one I'm like, damn, was yeah, like I'm not fighting taxi cab drivers. I'm not like doing any of that. That would be a proper build up. I think the business of people doing that it is beneficial, but like I'm not doing that. I've been
Yep.
offered actually like the first two were 50-50s. The first girl was an amateur champion.
Mm.
And then the second girl, it was her debut. She was also in the amateurs too in Mexico. Like that the second girl had a full fight kit. The first girl, like, I did not like her fight shorts. But I
Mm.
think everyone knows I'm kind of like stingy with my fashion. I'm like,
Fashion conscious, you would say.
yeah, I bet, yeah, fashion conscious. That's a better word.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm not doing like some dumb shit. Like y'all can't hate on me. I'm actually doing the work. Like,
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. You're putting in the work here, and you're staying consistent with it. That's the key part is to stay consistent with it and things like that. But like you said, there have been a number of times, when you've been starting out your professional career and getting yourself built up to this particular point that you've had multiple obstacles along the way. And I know that
I
you
literally
reached out
got
to me, right? And you said, hey, there was a lot that you had to talk about referencing what recently went down or something, man. So we got to
yes,
get
I
to the bottom
actually
of
do. I want. Oh, we're gonna talk my shit. All right, there is a reason why people call me Big Deal, y'all. Ah, I make things a big deal, whether it be positive or negative. He's seen Brooklyn. Like we can attest that there is a separation between characters, but like, fuck. I'm gonna be Big Deal for a second because this shit actually grinds my gears. If you are a male boxer pulling up in my DMs, y'all better have your standards up because I'm gonna have my standards up. I'm gonna do like the absolute freaking most. What's grinding my gears is I'm not gonna say names,
it. Hmm.
but there's a few. There's a few, and there's a few that need
Yeah.
to just like stop. Y'all need to like y'all need to stop. Y'all need to like not even just stop reaching out. Just stop being fucking boys. That's it. Like stop being boys. Stop being how do I say it? How do I
What
say
have
it?
they got to have a certain level of maturity or something like
Yeah, they
that, or
do.
maybe
Most people in this industry don't though. That's
mm,
we get punched in the head for a living. Like CTE is a real thing, bro.
yeah.
Like these men actually have issues and I feel bad, but
Mm.
my thing is that recently in the Twitter world, in the Instagram world, I've been way too nice. And I'm like, oh, okay, like I'll respond, like, thank you so much for reaching out. Oh, I'm flattered. You think I'm pretty, blah. But then when they get asked, oh, do you know Big Deal? And that's where it's shady. Because then you find out other things in the back channels about these people that you didn't know, and you're like, okay, not in my head, holding in my anger, because like if it was like me, my friends, I think my friends are on a pedestal to me and I'm on a pedestal to them because we really treat each other good. Like these are my friends
Mm.
outside of boxing. I'm talking like my friends from school, my friends from growing up, like my gymnastics friends, people in my life, like church. We treat each other good. People in boxing, y'all are snakes. Stop it. Boys,
Mm.
stop it. Stop being hornballs. Stop being fucking dumb. Stop leading girls on, because this isn't just on me, because it's happening to a lot of other girls. I know a lot of other people, and we're talking high level boxers that you guys like talk about daily in these spaces. Y'all need to
Right.
stop. But that's my
Yeah. So
PSA. That's my
yeah.
PSA.
All right.
It
Yeah.
just
With that being
agitated
said,
me because that like getting it off my chest, being like, yo,
mhm,
those tweets, I know what you were referencing. I was like, it happened to my friend, and it just kind of reminded me about something that happened to me, like not like recent, but like just agitated me that it was a mirrored situation. And I'm like, ugh, I need to talk my shit, and I'm not gonna be like the emotional girl and be like, "Oh my god, these guys are mean." No,
mhm,
in general, like anybody in boxing is just weird. Stay away from them. If you're a boxer, stay away. Go to
right.
these events, do your things for your business, but stay away from the weirdos, bro. Don't talk to strangers.
Mm. Now, question here from Jaime Alvarado: any preference in boxing gear that you've went through so far?
Yes, I love this question. So my preference is Adams for shoes, and I know people are probably gonna be like, "Oh, well, it's because you're sponsored." No, it took me a year to get that sponsorship. A and B, I bought way before, and I still buy. I still buy, like, cause obviously contracts and stuff, like
Hmm.
there's limits. I go above and beyond, and I will still be like, yo, like they gift me with a lot of things. They've gifted me like with customs, with like freaking socks, gear, gloves, like you name it, like. But I will buy more. Like that's my preference. And for gloves currently, I like the Everlast ones, the ones that I was in um Team Combat League in.
Hmm.
Ernie from Everlast, this is me calling you out. Please let me get a sponsor. Thank you. And then Rival I really like actually. I like it for sparring. I hear the white gloves though for fighting are good, but I really like the headgear. And then I did a whole custom back in the day with GT Boxing, which is a Long Island guy. He is from Hill Street Boxing. Um, so I did that. I really like his gloves, and I'm gonna try out Duke's, the Put Up Your Dukes one. I'm gonna
Hmm.
try that one. I don't know, but I will say Hayabusa is also really good, and Hayabusa needs to sponsor me again because I miss them. I miss them. And the last thing I will say is like for me, I like custom mouth guards because if you just boil them and like you bite down as a boxer, it's trash. It'll wreck your teeth. I go with alien guards. I really like them. And another sponsor of mine I really like because they'll actually customize whatever the fuck you want is Teep Territory. Teep Territory is really nice. And I was just wearing their Muay Thai shorts just for shits and giggles today, and
Hmm.
I really like that too. They make really good quality shit. So they're from Staten Island. Yeah, I think I covered all grounds honestly for that. I'm a very particular person. Like y'all know, I'm very fashion conscious, and so I'm gonna start using that. I'm very freaking, but yeah, like I don't know. I'm a fashionista, you know.
Now, now, of course, we mentioned the thing there with the Team Combat League, and fighting for that one round, and just getting that experience there with the Phoenix.
Did you watch it?
How was that for you as far as like being able to just be in action for one round and then all of a sudden it's over?
I was mad at myself that I wasn't faster. That's it. Like, I feel like I'm a slow starter. And definitely there was a slow starter. Also, I was very heavy. The 129 was very, very heavy. Um, yeah, but I feel like it was a good experience and I do want to do it again. I do want to have my get back. Not with like the same person. I want to get somebody my size. So, yeah, maybe if the same person does come, I'll get my licks in. But I do want to go back and I do want to have my repeat because I do really like the concept. I kept saying that I was in the NFL. I'm like, yeah, I'm in the NFL of boxing because it is basically the NFL. Like, it feels like you're in the NFL and everybody
Mm-hmm.
knows each other from just their professional careers too. So it's pretty cool. I saw people that I knew from Cali, like when I was at Knockouts, and Mio, Yashoda, like Right Hook, Roxy, and freaking Babyface Assassin were all there. Like it was during a team combat league sparring, plus them and like more of all the knockouts people. I saw people from that session there. I saw
Mm-hmm.
people from New York area. Like I saw everyone. Like it was insane.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the combat league, as you mentioned, like it is like the NFL for boxing because you're part of a team.
I really
And that's
liked
the thing.
how we were all cheering together too.
Because it's like, hey, you're all. It's almost like you're all part of the same. You're being involved with the same gym. In some cases, there with the coach, and having all of those fighters there alongside with you and cheering you on like that. It's like having that type of bond there. By being part of that. So that's the thing about being part of the team combat league on that front. Alberto asks there, do upcoming boxers have to work a daytime job or they rely on sponsors? I mean, hey, it definitely
Both.
depends on who it is.
Both. Sponsor me. Sponsor me. Yo, like it's insane. Actually, shout out to Neil from Tough Tony team. Shout out to Plug and Play and like Keep Territory, Alien Guards, who else? Like the people that actually there's like so many. I'm sorry if I'm Team Brooklyn. I'm gonna just say Team Brooklyn. Um that actually put money into like me boxing. Thank you for that because right now, right this second, it's it's not like I'm not making money from boxing, but look at Keyshawn Davis, look at Tank Davis, look at fucking Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, freaking Alicia Baumgardner, Amanda Serrano, all of the higher ups, they're balling. I'm not balling yet. Not yet. But give me like a year. Give me a year. And then check back in and be like, hey yo, how's the Team Brooklyn expenses? Are you like now in a profit margin? Then maybe. But yeah, we most of them do have jobs. And it's actually pretty sad
Hmm.
because a lot of promotions don't really pay that much. If you're getting paid, it's not that much. If you're bringing something to the table, like I've been told that what I charge is perfect for like how I am because there's like literal YouTubers that will charge $1 million to step in the ring and you're like, bitch, why are you getting fucking 1 million when you have no fucking boxing value or value? Every single promotion I've worked with, the
Hmm.
ROI, return of investment, has been perfect because they'll get the digital views, they'll get the tickets, and fuck it, like they'll get the fucking media coverage because you're getting people from fucking Israel. You're getting people on Twitter that hate me, like, oh my god, I'm hate watching Brooklyn Barwick. Like, look, oh, that left hook it sucks. Like,
It's
they're
still attention at the end of the day, though. So,
attention is attention. Like, and it was perfect because this one reporter came up to me at Cops and Kids, like a paparazzi. I was like, oh my God, hi, hi, hi. I was like very like shocked. And he was like, he made a good point. He was like, a couple months ago, like nobody knew who you were. And it kind of looks bad because I'm like, yeah. Like it kind of looks like I'm like, but like, no, it really occurred to me, oh my God, like, yeah, I had my following, but look, I became Box Rec Fighter of the Week. I've like now been ranked. Like this shit is crazy to me. So it's just me versus me climbing up the ranks. And I would do a couple exhibitions because I would like to get on brand risk if like we can't do a pro bout. Like I would like to do more team combat league because those do help me at the end of the day. And if people are going to hate on a round, oh my God. Like I actually gave the girl work. She hugged me. She kept hugging me. Like it is what it is. But yeah, that is a long freaking summary of boxers are broke.
So got another question on here. Hey, ever get cut? Ever get a cut that required stitches?
I'm not gonna answer that out loud because I don't want to jinx it.
Okay, gotcha. So I mean, you got, of course, your two fights that you've had, two pro fights there in Mexico. Looking to see if we can get you secured
Now we're
in.
in Colombia.
Yeah. So see if we get you another one secured here. Maybe about like 5 fights this year. Would that be good to have like 5 pro fights this year to start off your
Yeah, I
career?
did 5 fights in 1 year for my influencer stuff. So 5 fights in a year for um like being a pro. Yeah, I would love to do that.
Yeah, I mean that would be the thing for me for fighters starting off their careers to try to get as many fights as possible, but probably get up to 5 per year to start off their career before they get into the more experienced or the more higher ranked fights out there.
Yo, Chicken Metcalf is coming. All right, I want the smoke. And Canelo said it perfectly. They're like, do you hate your opponents? He's like, nah, I just don't give a fuck. Yeah, I just don't give a fuck. We can be friends. We can be enemies. Personally, me and Sharetta, I would say, are friendly. So she's chill. But I still want that belt. I still want to get my licks back from Mio.
Well, I mean, of course, she has that thing coming up July 11th here next Friday. So we see what's
I
going
want
to
to
happen
face
there.
off with her. I want to see how tall she is. Everyone's like, oh, like, if you do a face off, like, man, I want to see how tall she is. Like, genuinely. I'm 4'11". You all realize that? Oh
Yep.
my gosh. Like,
Yeah.
people don't realize that I'm actually that short. Like, this, to put it in perspective, wow, that's like a normal person.
Yeah.
I just want to see the vibes. I know I can do what I do, but I want to go up to her and I want to be like, hey, I'm looking up because I know she's
Yeah.
taller than me.
Yeah. 5'7".
5'7"?
Yeah.
Let's go. I've done 5'6" girls. No wait, that sounds wrong. I fought 5'6" girls.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
fought
You have
five
to.
six girls.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah. All right, bet. I'm getting my links back from Mio. You showed up. I got you, homie. I got you.
Well, yeah. So that's the thing. We got to see if we're could arrange something there for next week. Of course, you got fight week out there coming up. It probably will start on. I would say Tuesday.
Did you watch the Mexico fight or the TCL one?
I watched the first one, and I was able to catch the first one. They had the first one out there. So, like I said, you was
Oh my god, yeah, no, you know how I am. I'll sit and brawl if I gotta, bro. I'll sit and brawl if I gotta. But lately, Jimmy has been like literally drilling me on like boxing basics, and I love that. I know like every pro is like, oh, I like sparring, oh, I like speed bag. No, me, I like going through the shit because then I understand it on another level. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yes, one thing to
He's a
see.
repetition type of dude.
Yeah, it's more of like
So
that.
yeah,
So
no, I
once
really
you
like
see it
that.
a few times and you see how it works a few times, then you understand. Okay, this is
Hmm.
why you do it. You know what I mean? So
Yes,
that's
I'm the
the
type
that's
of
the whole thing
person.
with the
I'm an
process.
annotation queen, bro. Annotation queen. Like, if you give me a book, give me a highlighter and a pen, and I'm good. I'm gonna make sure. Yeah, I have multiple rooms, guys. The only thing is what I could say about the last question about the money part is support the Team Brooklyn Foundation. Support the Team Brooklyn Enterprise, because respectfully, I would love my own gym. I would love my own gym, like a pink bag. Oh my god. Oh my god, I would literally fangirl. If we could get a pink bag at like Cops and Kids and just be like, hey, here's a little donation, big deal. I would cry because that's what I want. That's what I want. I want to be able to wake up every day and like I love doing the TikToks and like everything, but like obviously boxing is my passion project. Like I gotta do it, you
Mm,
know? So
word, word. So we have another question. Like, how do guys react when you tell them that you're a boxer?
oh my gosh. Another thing I've been dealing with in my personal life actually. I hate it. I hate when guys find out that I'm a boxer. I love it and I hate it because then the guys that don't know boxing, they're like, "Oh, are you the UFC?" No, that's MMA, my dude. Um, or they're like, "Oh, please don't knock me out." Or, "Oh, you think you're tough, right?" Oh, big money bags, and I hate that one because I'm like, dude, I make more money like doing like the brand deals and stuff with like influencing rather than
Brandon, yep.
like right now, like yeah, I'm obviously making money from fucking boxing, but like it's not what everyone thinks it is. I'm not big
Mm,
money bags. I hate that comment too because also when they see my Instagram, oh wow, you're famous. I mean, a little, I guess. I'm locally known now. Like internationally, I've been known. Like I've been like in London and like Mexico and LA. Well, LA's not like a country, but like another West Coast. Like I don't know. I don't like it, but I also love it because then the only positive parts about like when guys find out that I do this as a job is that if 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 they like actually let me be a girl because what really sucks is that and the other day we were at Tao with all of my friends and this one person thought that I was a lesbian all because I was a professional boxer and there's nothing wrong with being gay. There's nothing wrong with the LGBTQ community, but that is not me. That is not my preference. They also think that I'm very masculine and I hate that. um, I got a comment literally again. Like this is so funny that the comment came up on this because this has been
mhm,
happening in my personal life this whole week because I've been trying to balance. I love you guys, but I've been trying to balance big deal and like being Brooklyn Barwick, like being an actual
mhm,
person. And it's hard because then it's like okay, like when you look at Brooklyn Barwick, boom, the big deal page comes up. They're like, oh my god, like you're gonna beat me up, like nah, 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 nah. And like, oh, big money bags, oh this, oh that. It's frustrating. I just this is me as Brooklyn, and this is where I really emphasize that the separation of Big Deal and Brooklyn Barwick is a thing. Whether or not you guys want to believe that I have a different personality once this phone is turned off is on
mhm,
you. Or when I'm alone with my friends, is on you or what I post on social media. But I like turning off my brain. Y'all know I'm a businesswoman. I have to think about what the fuck, like making a fight suit, like posting on Instagrams, appeasing my sponsors, appeasing my fans, my family, um, making my business go round, and like doing all of these big girl things that it's frustrating. And on top of that, not only am I managing like my whole business, but also I gotta step in the ring. I gotta think for myself in that moment. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
what do I need to throw to not get caught and to not decrease my life and make me into a retarded bitch? Like, respectfully, because again, CTE exists. Like, um, so I have to do all this stuff, and on top of that, learning too. I have to relearn how to be a student because I was a coach for so long, but not in boxing and gymnastics. So I understand like what coaches have to do, but again, it's not like gymnastics where I've been doing it since I was like 2 years old. This is
Mm-hmm.
boxing that I took up at 23 years old. So I'm constantly learning that. And like, it's just hard because once I want to be with a man, I want to turn all of that off. Everything that I explained to you,
Mm-hmm.
y'all think is hectic? Yeah. Try living a day in my brain. I make the freaking like joke all the time that people would shoot themselves in like, and not to be morbid or anything. I'm not like depressed or any of that bullshit. But it's just like you'll think like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, because also at the same time I got stocks. I got a 3-bedroom apartment I gotta like keep up to date with. Now I'm in the moving process and I gotta think about like apartments and shit. I wanna turn that off. I wanna be a female. I am a girly girl. To the bone. Y'all see my apartment whenever I go live. Y'all see my fight fits. Y'all, when I walk into a masculine gym, you can point me out because I am colorful. I do not like wearing black because it's depressing. Like, I want to be me. I want to be a female. I want to live my life. And having a man beside me that understands that is very important because I've been told that I've been too much. And that's why I'm like, when that whole me popping off on all the male boxers on what happened to my friend and to myself, I'm like, it's very frustrating because men right now are in their soft girl era. The men literally need to man up and put their big boy pants on. They're boys, they're not men. And I think it's also
Mm-hmm.
because I'm in my 20s that I'm running into these problems because men don't mature later until later in life. And on top of that, let's say if I do end up be getting with the boxer, this man is not gonna be mature yet because he's kind of delayed, man. Ow, ow, ow. Like,
Well, I mean, yeah, you got a number of fighters that could be that way, or not some that have
I
their
mean,
balance, they're all balanced.
I'm
But
not
the
obviously
thing
gonna
about it
name
is,
names.
hold up,
I'm not gonna name names, but some of your favorite fighters, like they don't know how to flirt. Like they really don't. Like it's
well,
just kind of like straight up now. Like, hey, I like you. Do you want to go? Like, but the thing is also guys don't like going on dates anymore. I feel like you really need to find a traditional man.
mm,
It's very hard, and also on top of like me wanting to express like being Brooklyn Barwick on these dates, it's hard because then you also have to think about in my shoes, are people using me? Because in my influencer debut, I had a man that used me. Y'all can look back at this photo. I'm not gonna name the man. He's in New York though. Not in the boxing world. He's in the cannabis world. But like,
mm,
he used me for my clout. He used me for money. Like literally, because when I'm in a relationship, I be spending. I spent like 5 grand on this dude, and it was all for nothing because then you find out later that they're cheating on their main bitch basically, and then you're a side bitch. Like it sucks.
mm,
I was thinking today, like literally, there's this one boxer that I actually thought for a split second, like, oh, I could date this man. Like, I could date this man. No, this man, gaslighter, manipulator, fucking stupid. Like, it's just red flags. Right now is not the time. I need a
Or
title. I even was
that's
talking to
it.
my mom about this. She told me this like 6 months ago. Like, or no, back in October, whenever
Hmm.
10 something months ago. Um, she was like, yo, 2 years, pull your head down, like grind on your boxing and stuff, and then we could talk about maybe making you into a mom type of thing. I'm like, okay. Because then if you think about it, I'm not even in my first year of boxing yet, and look what I've done.
Yeah. Yep.
If I
Yep.
had, if I had a man, which if y'all ever see my petty tweets or my spam TikTok, I'm sorry, I'll call him Mr. Washed Up Boxer till the day I die. They'll be washed up, inactive professional fighters that will crawl into your DMs, that will crawl into your DMs and crawl into your life, trying to say that they love you. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Well,
There's
of
snakes in
course,
these waters, bro.
you you basically like you said, you got a lot of stories, and there are going to be a lot more here later on down the line. I got one more question here for Bro. Ask, do you ever spar with guys?
Yeah, my hands are ready to eat for everybody, but it's not a preference that I like because right now what I'm finding out is that it's either they go too light or they go too rough. There's no in between. And when I say too rough, there is a biological difference with men and women, all right? And like, yeah, like I'll do it because it really does help me, but also I'm kind of traumatized from like my own stuff because a misfit spider literally broke my ribs, and Ashton Silves and his dad had to save me because this man was like completely OD. It was not the Silveses like issue. Like it wasn't like dawned by them. But this man I was sparring with, it's like, bro, there is a difference between trying to kill someone and trying to work with somebody. And on top of that, this man just he wasn't. I'll actually say it. Yeah, it was B Dave from Misfits. Like it was just it's idiotic. Yeah, I said, all right, let's spar. Let's get our freaking like energy out.
You do some
And
work,
yeah,
right?
and then you break a girl's ribs, like bro. Yeah, I was egging him on, like, come on, like let's do it. But like, you don't break somebody's ribs, you asshole. Like,
Yeah, I mean we've had stories about that too, particularly with one famous female boxer that you have a little bit of an issue with or had an
no,
issue with over the
no,
years.
no, no, I do not have an issue with her. Do not spin that narrative. I do not have an issue with her. She has an issue with me.
Okay. So we got that down. All right. But yeah, that's the thing about it with sparring and going in with guys is that they sometimes they don't know if they have to turn it off or tone it down or whatever it is
I would
when
rather
they're in there.
spar a
So
heavier
it's
girl than like a 135 man. Like, respectfully. Like, they'll be like, meh, meh. And then you're like, dude, why am I in the ring with somebody that's not giving you work? Like, there's also men like that, bro. Oh, I don't hit women. Dude, my hands are ready to eat for everyone, but just work with me. Don't, especially when we're sparring. Like, if I'm in a fight camp, like, bro, like, I just need to learn. I need to fucking do my shit. Like, I'm gonna stand my ground. I'm gonna fucking fight you. I'm gonna try to take your head off. Like, try to take mine off at the same time. But, like, work. Like, even, like, before Team Combat League, I was in Orange County. And, shout out to WBC World Champ Ron Skolsdang because he let me into his fucking, his gym and shit because he is sponsored by Plug and Play as well. And
hmm,
this is like right before TCL, right before the Brandon Lee fight. And we're all there. And I'm like, bro, like, I just want to work with his amateurs. He had an amateur girl that was, it wasn't her debut, no, but like, it was a really big, like, tournament. She did, and she won because she was inside fighting and I was letting her work on me. And Ron's wife, a freaking. I will say this: Ron's wife needs to like be in the amateur scene because she's a fucking killer. Like she knows how to brawl and brawl. So
Mhm.
it is what it is. Like so, yeah, I will spar boys. Just if I feel now, I'm at that point. If I feel like I'm gonna like get my head taken off, like I'll turn up. I'll be like, all right, we in a fight. Boom, 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 boom. Like I would spar Price Taylor if I had to, but like, do I want to? No.
Oh man, yeah, that would be something though. That would be something if you'll be able to do that. But
Me
you
and
know,
Price Taylor sparring, is that a new reel that me and Price should do?
I mean, hey, if they're up for it, why not?
He's my best friend. Like he would do it. We did the body shot challenge and we posted it on Salitas as well. And it went really viral for that one too. I just kept there was a line of all of us in Flatbush and I just go "Wah! Wah!" and I just kept like hitting the boys like Price is rock solid, and he's coming up on the new Salidas card. It's Clarissa Shields undercard, I believe.
Mm.
Um, the one in New York. Yeah, she's the one fighting in New York, right? Upstate.
Salida with the Shields card there.
No,
That's supposed to be in
Michigan,
Detroit.
right? Detroit, yeah. The one coming up, whatever the one's coming up, he's fighting in that part. Watch him. Watch out for that. That man is the boogeyman. Like everybody keeps ducking him because he's actually lethal. So shout out to Price Taylor. If you're not following Price Taylor from Salidas Promotions, what the fuck are you doing? Go do it right now. And while you're doing that, subscribe to like the boxing source and follow me, or else you're a fake bitch and you don't have big deal stamp of approval.
Yeah, for sure. You know, that's the thing about it. You gotta be able to follow Brooklyn Barwick on all the social media platforms, on X, on Instagram. Oh no, you got the Facebook thing going on too, and then you got Team, Brooklyn, also on there
Team
too. So you got
BKLIN boxing all day.
Yep. So got to follow all of those channels there. So definitely got to keep up with Brooklyn Barwick, and then we got to see when they have that announcement for her next pro fight coming up
I
there.
mean,
So
I think my announcement's gonna come up within the next like week because I already know. Like, well, I already announced that I was. I don't know if I'm getting a post. I think I am. I'm walking
mhm.
out with this bitch. I'm walking out with the freaking Jewish flag. I'm walking out with the State of Israel flag. It'll be great. I don't want to hear no hate comments. Y'all keep your politics out. It's boxing and yeah, like I'm gonna just walk out with this because shout out to the Jewish boxing blog because a lot of us have been getting showcased and they've been off the
Yep.
wazoo. It was actually Matt from Brunch Boxing's idea for me and Jewish Boxing blog to partner up. Off the wazoo, they've been posting us. They even posted about Team Combat League. So Team Combat League was literally viewed in Israel. Isn't that crazy? They had a whole watch party for me. Like that's crazy. The Middle East. And then I've
hmm
been getting some like Japanese people because I obviously freaking has saw Mizuki Hirota in there and like it's wild. So follow me, bro. Like join the movement. It's New York and beyond at this point. I'm focusing on beyond right now, but then I'm gonna bring it back here. And I
hmm
told Gorilla Nems that him and I have a date to walk out in New York. I want his Bing Bong like Nick's remix and him walking me out. That's what I want. And I told him straight up. So if y'all want to take my fucking idea, he knows he gotta walk me out. But if you offer him money, like more money than I am, damn,
Yeah.
that's
Then yeah,
shit.
yeah. You can't do anything about that.
I'm like, yeah, I'm like, as they said that, like y'all saw my face. I was like, damn, like I'm not gonna stop homeboy from getting his bag, but like, let me have my moment. Me and Nems, like, come on. Come on, man.
Yeah. So big shout out to you there, of course. We're definitely looking forward to more coming up here with the
Follow
big
NYC Cops
deal.
and Kids.
The big deal, Brooklyn Barwick here, of course, joining us here on the Boxing Source, and definitely looking forward to seeing more from you here real soon. And once we get the news here of your next fight, then we're gonna see about arranging to get you back on here. So we're gonna get that sorted. All right.
All right, baby. Thank you so much for having me. You know I love you, and yeah, thanks for coming to our TED Talk.
Yeah, exactly. There you go, TED Talk.
I
All right,
actually
there. All right. Catch you later there, Brooklyn. All righty. So that is our special guest there, Brooklyn Barwick. That's right. The big deal. Of course, she done had 2 pro fights already, one in March, one in May, and then seeing about getting another one here sorted out for August, but also involved with the Team Combat League there with the Phoenix team that they have. So maybe she'll be involved in another one of those Team Combat League events here coming up real soon. I know that they're going into their last kind of week or so within the regular season, and they're going to be starting up their playoffs here really soon. So maybe she'll be involved in the playoffs that they're going to have here, starting with the quarterfinals coming up within a couple of weeks before. If she gets in there with the bout that's could be scheduled for August 16th, as mentioned there, then she'll be really busy, really active, whether it's Team Combat League or back with the pros there. Could have her a third pro fight. So we got that here on slate. But we also got a number of things here that we're going to be talking about here for the midweek report. And of course, one of the top stories here is, of course, with the official news. Yep, the official news that the former WBC featherweight champion of the world, that's right, Mr. Gary Russell Jr. will be back in the ring. That's right, Mr. Gary Russell Jr. is going to be on there through the prelims. I got to see if we can pull this thing up here, man, because the thing about it is that I had I had word that this could potentially happen, but I couldn't really say much of anything about it. You know what I mean? I really couldn't say much of anything about it because had to wait for it to be officially official. Because at the time that I kind of got word that it was possible that it could happen, they were looking to see about opponents, and there was like a one post that went out that said that maybe Gary Russell Jr. would be coming back on July 19th, but it would be against someone else. So once that was out, I had to reach out to the source, okay, the source, all right. And then once I reached out to the source, they said, yeah, it was been, under consideration, but they didn't know much about the opponent that was proposed at the time. So I didn't really, fully go forward with saying like, hey, maybe this is going to actually happen here with Gary Russell Jr. potentially facing at the time the opponent that was put out there was Giovanni Gonzalez, right? So going into these next few days and days with the weeks and everything like that, went by the gym and stuff, and just tried to see about getting some confirmations. And once I got confirmation, I was like, all right, bet, cool. So once I got the confirmation that he was gonna be back, then I was just gonna wait on the announcement, official announcement there from Premier Boxing Champions. And well, there you go. You see it there on the graphic there. Gary Russell Jr. going up against Hugo Castaneda. So you got Gary Russell Jr. back in the ring from, of course, his last bout in 2022, right? Now, we've had, the whole thing here with first, you could say Keith Thurman, that had like a couple of fights, one fight that happened in 2019 there. What was that, against Manny Pacquiao? Then he had a fight in 2022 against Mario Barrios, and then now he finally got back in the ring there against Brock Jarvis. Now you got Gary Russell Jr., whose last bout was in January of 2022 against Mark Magsayo, where he didn't lose that fight. He won that fight Real talk, you won that fight with one arm. He outboxed dude with one arm. Like, come on, man. What are we doing? But now he's getting back here against Hugo Castaneda. Now, the thing with Gary Russell Jr., he is there with a record of 31 wins and just those 2 losses, of course, the 1-2 Vasyl Lomachenko, and then the thing there with Mark Magsayo, 18 wins by way of knockout. Of course, one of the longest reigning world champions that have been out in the scene, getting the world championship in 2015 and defended it until 2022, going up against Hugo Castaneda, who's going to have a record there of 15 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, with 11 of those wins by way of knockout. He is there at 23 years old, listed at 5'8", coming from Alamo, Texas, as it says on BoxRec, but was born in Reynosa, Mexico, and his last bout was in April of this year over at the Palms Casino against an undefeated fighter there in Demler Zamora. So, here is more about, a filling out session there for Gary Russell Jr. because, they're seeing here if they're going to have more plans for Mr. Gary Russell. But it may be contingent on what happens with a couple of other fights that are, within the weight class or whatever it is. So we got to see how this first turns out here for Gary Russell Jr. as he goes up against Hugo Castaneda. So that is going to be the, as they say, the headliner of the PBC on Prime prelims. Now the prelims start at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 2:30 Pacific Time there. And you also see there that the former opponent there for Gary Russell Jr., Mark Magsayo, is going up there against, Jorge Cuellar, right? And then you're going to have David Picasso there versus Kyosuke Kameda. I think that might be a good fight right there with Picasso and Kameda, man, because that one I think is a pretty key fight within that particular division. So I'd like to see that as well. And that's going to be on Amazon Prime. So if you got an Amazon Prime membership, you can see it. You don't have to pay extra or whatever it is to, order that particular, fight card there with those 3 fights. Of course, when you have, the 4 fights that'll be on pay-per-view July 19th, with that one at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, headlined by Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios. But, like I said here, with this former WBC featherweight champion Gary Russell Jr. on, that's going to be something. And sometime back, we did have a conversation with Gary Russell Jr. there, and we kind of talked, a few things, talked about a few topics there on that front with Gary Russell Jr. But, the thing about it is that, with some fans that were, there on the live, they asked a question there in reference to him. And, we was talking about, him and having the shoulder issues and things like that. And this was like back at the end of March that he said, he's kind of leaning towards, not really being active there once again. But here, this is more about, him having that test run, so to speak, to say, okay, he all the way back, then we'll see here on this one. Shout out to L Dub Boxing in the building there, boxing plug there. Of course, y'all check out L Dub Boxing on YouTube as well. And he says Gary's lightweight debut. Yeah, you can pretty much say that right there, man. Lightweight debut, because as I was saying there earlier, there may be some plans here with Mr. Gary Russell Jr. in the lightweight division. I'm gonna just say that, okay? There's a couple of plans out there for Gary Russell Jr. in the lightweight division. It just, depends on, his performance here against Castaneda, and then seeing what else happens within the lightweight division. So I mean, that kind of like gives you some clues there on that front, man. But you have those 3, like I said, those 3 fights to warm up things there for July 19th. They're over at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. And of course, that's one of the busiest days in boxing. Of course, you're going to have the undisputed heavyweight title fight over at, Wembley Stadium, man. You're there with Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois. And of course, you have Ben Rodriguez against Fumalele Cafu or Fumalele Cafu, whatever. That's going to be at the Star in Frisco. So you're going to have that unification bout there over, and that'll be on the zone too, right? So that makes it for a very, very busy weekend. And of course, next weekend is a very busy weekend. We got fights there at Madison Square Garden on July 11th. The all women's card there, of course, headlined by the third bout between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, and a multitude of world title fights that'll be on that particular card as well. And then, of course, July 12th, you're going to have the thing there with Edgar Berlanga there, of course, headlining that fight card. And then you got Shakur Stevenson versus William Cepeda for that WBC lightweight title. You got the WBC super lightweight title on the line there as well. I mean, it's going to be stacked weekend there, particularly in New York. And, I've said it there in the past there with those hotel prices. It's absolutely insane. So even if you wanted to, attempt to go over to MSG, watch that fight card on Friday night, or, what's going down there with over in Queens, New York on Saturday night. As far as like hotel rooms, man, yeah, good luck with all that. You feel me? Good luck with all that. But it just says that, we got a lot of action coming up here for the summer in boxing. So I don't think there's going to be much downtime when it comes to the sport of boxing here over these next several weeks, so to speak there, so definitely looking forward to all of that. What else I wanted to see if I could get on to something here real quick, because you had the World Boxing Association recently released their rankings, of course, because they do that at the end of every month. So, wanted to see if I could touch on that there real quick, right? So, particularly what's going down in the lightweight division, of course, right? Because, we have the world champion there, Vontae Tank Davis, who will be having his bout with Lamont Roach Jr. as long as they're able to announce it. And it's funny that they have Vasily Lomachenko there as champion. They need to change all that because at least they had the WBO vacant, because it is vacant there since Keyshawn Davis was 4.3 pounds overweight for his bout that was scheduled there against Edwin De Los Santos, right? So he didn't even have a fight, gave up the belt, all that type of stuff. There's that. But now we got a new fighter up there at number 1, and that is Kid Austin, Floyd Schofield, coming off of his first round knockout win over Tevin Farmer. And, well, I mean, you had Floyd Schofield Jr., Senior, that have been talking a lot. I've been trying to get in touch with him, see what's going down. Some people have said that, hey, you might see a push for Floyd Schofield to be there as the mandatory challenger for Tank Davis here, as Tank is preparing for his bout against Lamont Roach Jr. But we'll see. Secret Dead Spoon says the WBA is the worst boxing organization out there. It says a complete joke. Oh man. Some people might disagree with you. They might say it's another organization that almost is as old or established as the World Boxing Association. But hey, I don't know. I've been trying to get in touch with a couple of those main people there in the World Boxing Association to see if I could talk with them. Like I said, I mean, years ago, I've had the WBC president there, Mauricio Suleiman, on. Of course, there you've seen that I've had the WBO president, Gustavo Olivieri, on. So I want to see if I could get the WBA president or get, the IBF president there, Daryl Peoples, and see if I can have a conversation with them. You know what I'm saying? Because we want to get, some explanations, not just here with the rankings that they have going on, but also if they have like upcoming mandatory, things coming up here for him. Because here with the WBA, I know why you said it with the WBA, man. Because I mean, here, we got, of course, what is it, the welterweight. We got to see what's going on with the welterweight division, as you got Jerome Boots Ennis moving up to 154 pounds. That means he's going to relinquish the WBA title and the IBF title, and that makes Rolly Romero be the lone world champion there for the WBA. But then, of course, the news of what's happening there in the cruiserweight division coming from last weekend, as you now have, yep, that's right, Jake Paul in the rankings there at number 14. Well, y'all know how it goes here with any of these sanctioning bodies, any of these rankings. MONEY. That's pretty much what it takes in a lot of cases here. Just being straight up, it's all about the money. All right. So now, you have Jake Paul having that decision win over Little Chavez, as I say, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Now he is ranked number 14 in the WBA at cruiserweight. And you have the unified champion there, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, as the WBA super champion and the WBO champion that also had a bout there on that same card last weekend, right, against the KO Dr. Junior Dorticos. And, well, Gilberto Ramirez had the decision over Dorticos, but just being real with y'all, man, it looked like Zurdo done took like the first 3 or 4 rounds off. I didn't really see him do much of nothing in those first 3 or 4 rounds, you feel me? But then I guess the judges said, hey, maybe he just gets the majority of those rounds. But if y'all seen that press conference, for that whole fight card some time back, it was floated out there that maybe Jake Paul could face Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, man. At least as of right now, we don't know the situation with the WBA and who we got. Leonardo Mosquera. I mean, come on. You think that Zurdo Ramirez is gonna have like this Mando with Leonardo Mosquera? Come on, man. Y'all know they ain't going down like that. Y'all know it ain't gonna happen like that, right? So with that being said, right, you don't be surprised one bit. Don't be surprised one bit if you have Jake Paul facing Zurdo Ramirez for those titles. Yeah, it would be, I know it would be absolutely ridiculous. It would be a travesty. It would be a sham. It would be a mockery. It would be a Travis sham mockery, or what they would be saying. But I mean, come on, because look, as of right now, the WBO has John Cena. I mean, Chris Smith. They're of course a former world champion, as the number 1 ranked guy there within that cruiserweight division. And so, as far as like when they have their rankings, that should be around the middle of this month. Will they put Jake Paul in the rankings at the middle of this month? I mean, if they do something like that, that'd be absolutely crazy. You know what I mean? But that, shows the situation at least there when it comes to the WBA rankings and them, having Jake Paul there at number 14 in the WBA. But hey, that's sometimes that's how it goes here when it comes to the sport of boxing, right? So you do have that. Now, with that being said, I would be like, I know that there's like a couple of fights coming up here for July 5th. There should be something on the zone. I gotta look that up here to see what they got going down on the zone, because I know that you're supposed to have, I think Sky Nicholson will be on, but also we got this thing here with Harlem Eubank and Jack Catterall coming up there. You're also going to have Joe Cordina versus Jarrett Gonzalez. That's some type of a name there. And yeah, Sky Nicholson, of course, former world champion, will be going up against Carlo Campos Gonzalez. So that'll be the first bout that Sky Nicholson has since losing her title to Ciara Brown. So that is what we're looking forward to here, at least on Saturday on the Zone. That'll be live on the Zone, and then the following week is where we have all of the action that's going to be in New York City Friday and Saturday. As far as I'm concerned, I have to see if I will kind of make that trip up to New York City for those events. Up in the air with that. Just being real with you, I'm being up in the air with that. Because when you have a lot of those activities, it's like you got one event to go to, and then there's something else going on. Either it's going to be the same time or it's going to be right after, and then day after day after day, right? So, like for example, when you have fights on Friday and fights on Saturday, then you can have like a press conference that'll be on Wednesday, and they can have like a public workout on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, you have a weigh-in, then another press conference. And Friday, you're gonna have the fights, and then you have a weigh-in for the Saturday joint. So it's like a lot of activity that's gonna be going on within the area that you're gonna have to go back and forth with. So I have to see if I would want to, get in on the action for all of that. But that remains to be seen, because I've been doing a lot of other activities outside of this here outside of boxing, so to speak, there that some on the media front. So I've been doing that, and then at the same time still covering the thing there for boxing. So here for summer it's gonna be really, really, really hectic. You know what I mean? So, and still, even after all of that, from July 11th and July 12th, you still got, as we mentioned here, with July 19th, all of those events for July 19th too. That could be, a good amount of work to see if I could try to do anything in reference to those events on July 19th as well. So a lot of action to look forward to over these next few weeks. And we'll, try to keep up with all of that. And then after, here we got July 5th, July 11th and 12th, July 19th, and then July 26th, back in New York with that top rank card there at the theater at Madison Square Garden that has the WBO super welterweight title fight, you know what I mean, with Xander Zayas and Jorge Perez as the headliner. So whole lot of action here, back to back weeks. It's going to be insane. So we'll see, how things work out there. But just keep update here with the Boxing Source. Of course, you got the website, theboxingsource.net. We have posted up on the channel here, and I gotta actually put this joint on to Rumble as well, because we're also on Rumble, right? We're gonna have that interview with the WBC Super Welterweight Champion there, the Towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora. We're going to have that also available on Rumble, so we're going to post it up here as well. So we got all of that going on. As far as me, this weekend, I might catch up with Mr. Gary Russell Jr. What I might do is I'll just hit him up and see about just doing a live interview online or something like that, and just catch up with him that way. I could go by the gym or whatever it is, but sometimes you have stuff going on at the gym, sometimes not. Now I'll just hold off on that for the time being. But that is what I have here, at least for what's going down on the Midweek Report. Of course, big thanks for Brooklyn Barwick for sharing a lot of thoughts and multiple things there on what's been going down with her as far as like her progression in her professional career. And yeah, we're just looking forward to the return of Mr. Gary Russell Jr. It's going to be July 19th. As I mentioned before, I mean, I had some inclination that it was going to happen. It was just that I didn't know if it was going to be official or not at the time, because I knew some time back that it was a possibility. But it was all about, okay, would they be able to lock down an opponent yet? And I didn't know until like recently that they locked down an opponent, and it ended up being another fighter that was initially suggested some time back. So Now with Gary Russell Jr. getting back in the ring here against Hugo Castaneda, now we see that, okay, we get the return of Mr. Gary Russell Jr. there on that front. And yeah, you know what though? I know it's going to be that lightweight, so you can't necessarily have a potential rematch of sorts with the other fighter that's on that prelim card because, as I said, there's some plans for Mr. Gary Russell Jr. Here for this year. So stay tuned on that. All right. With that being said, that's what I got here for the midweek report. Big thanks for everyone that's been able to listen live. Hit the like button if you like the content. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification bell so that you know anytime I'm able to post up videos here on the Boxing Source YouTube channel at the very least, and also have some content here for Rumble. So we got to get that sorted out as well. It's a lot to to sort and to put up and things like that. So that's what we got going on here at the Boxing Source. Thanks once again for chopping it up with us, and we'll catch y'all later. Peace.